Good evening. I'm originally from India. I left India around 40 years ago. Then I lived in different parts of the world. And sometime I spent on board the ship MV Doulos OM ship and sailed around 60 or 70 countries. Last 30 plus years based in Singapore. I would like to start with the prayer. I prayed almost 22 years before I come to know the Lord. So every evening around 7 o'clock, my mom gathered all the kids and my relatives in my home in front of the gods and goddesses. Then he repeated this prayer almost every day. The prayer goes something like this: Asadhoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jodidgamaya, Mrityoma Mamrudham Gamaya. This scripture from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, one of the Hindu scripture, simply means Asadhoma Sadgamaya, lead me from darkness to light. Mrityoma Mamrudham Gamaya, Mrityu means death, lead me from mortality to immortality. And Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Mamrudham Gamaya. So many years I prayed this prayer, Asadoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma, etc. But when you read John's Gospel, chapter 8, verse 12, Jesus said, I am the light. My ancestors, my mom, my grandmother prayed, lead me from darkness to light. Asadoma, Asadoma means untruth to truth, darkness to light. So I'm representing here at least 1.2 billion Hethne people. You may not heard this word Hethne. This is not a Greek word nor an English word. So if you read the Matthew's Gospel in the last chapter, so Jesus is going to preach the gospel to all the people. So in the people we read in a Greek New Testament, ta ethne. So it is not a physical nation, but the people, like in India we call the Chettiars and Badagas and Nayars and etc. So people. So I use the word ethne, so I add the word h in front of ethne, became a Hethne. When I coined the word years back, I thought nobody's going to understand this word, nobody's going to use it. On my surprise, last week I was in Philippines, someone said, someone going to start a fellowship in Vancouver known as the Hethne Fellowship. So only the Hethne group in Nepal, Hethne group in different parts of the world, and Hethne in UK. So I told my friend, if somebody is going to register that name, then I cannot use in future, even though I created this word. So the reason I coined this word, Panta Ta Ethne, and Ethne became a Hethne, because I don't want to use the word Hindus are living in a darkness. So it's a very negative statement. If I say I want to reach Hethne people, it is okay. So it's a well accepted the term across the world. So it's a coined word. It's a symbol word. This is I call it Chindian family. Chindian family, the new race. If you put together Indians and Chinese together, you'll get Chindians. Because my wife, her grandparents came from somewhere in China. So she can speak a Mandarin, and my two kids are speaking Mandarin and Cantonese too. So, and I'm born and brought up in a Hindu family. So she's from Buddhist family. So we represent almost 1/3 of the world. And also the real Diaspora family, because our title this evening is Diaspora Realities and Mobilization. I moved out of India around 40 years ago. My wife's side, the grandparents moved out of China. So I had the two kids, half Indian, half Chinese. So my daughter recently changed her identity card, usually Indian. But Singapore government recently agreed you can change your ethnicity. So I can Chinese, Indian/Chinese. So they represent both sides of the world. Also they represent the reality of the diaspora. When you think the diaspora, somebody moved out of India. So I moved out of India. So the uniqueness of diaspora family, I used to say I'm originally from India. Now I live in Singapore. So some of you asked me, where are you from? I said, India. That is true, I'm from India. Sometimes I used the word, I'm from Singapore. That's also true because I'm holding Singapore passport, the both side. So the beauty of the diaspora family, where do they fit in? If you talk about the diaspora realities, people think if my son born in Singapore, what's going to happen? The Indian father, Indian passport holder. But the new reality of diaspora, they face new identity, also the new challenge. People ask me, my son got a full scholarship from Singapore government to study overseas. Because he was the top student in Singapore, they paid him almost $500,000 for him to study in a Cambridge University. So Singaporean friends ask me, how in the world is going to happen because you are from India? But Singapore's system won't bother where you come from, Africa or India or former Soviet Republic. But as long as you are good, we'll give you a scholarship. Now I'm holding a Singapore passport and Indian resident permit. He's holding a diplomatic passport. He's a diplomat now. This is the diaspora reality. People move across the world, they form a new identity. So this is my new identity, Chindian family. What do I do my off days? As I cycle around the world. I cycle Singapore to Malaysia. I cycle around Taiwan. So recently I cycled in Jeju Island. And last year I cycled from Seoul to Busan. I do cycle not for the fun. I raise money for the ministry, reaching the Hindu people across the world, because we need to reach out this group of people. So I need the money. So I don't have many skill. I cannot sing, but I can cycle. So I planned Florida to California last year to cycle 3,700 miles, around 5,600 kilometers. Didn't work out because of the heat wave. So one day I'm going to do it. Florida, St. Augustine, all the way to California. So maybe next year, raise money for ministry. Okay, I'm not going to talk about bicycle this evening. I'm going to talk about my people, 1.2 billion Hethane people, and a little bit of the diaspora taste. It is more for you to give a taste of who are these Hethane diaspora people. The quite big group, 1.2 billion, around 16% of the world's population. We don't talk about much of these Hethane people. I know Vision 5.9, we all understand. We need to reach M group of people. But we don't talk about much about the Hethane people. But now we need to talk about the Hethane people and the diaspora experiences. So this is all statistics, 14%, now around 16% Hethane people across the world. 16%. If you look at Asia, 25 to 26% of the Hethane people in this part of the world. I did almost 10 years in different theological seminaries in India, Singapore, and in the US. I did only 3 credit hours in Asian religion, only 3 credit hours, because the focus is not there. Focus, we talk about all types of people across the world. When you come to talk about 1.2 billion Hethane people, we are not that excited. Even though sometimes we hear the 26% of the Hethane people across the world, we talk about the downtrodden, poor people. We need to reach that group of people. Have you received the brochures from India? Some guy sitting on the roadside, the village people need the gospel. We don't talk about real Hethane people need the gospel. So it is quite unfair. So, including the diaspora people across the world. Who is a Microsoft CEO? Which part of the world, which religion he belongs to? Which religion? Hindu. What are the Google CEO? I think last year his salary was $230 million or something. Not Singapore dollar, US dollars. So a lot of the educated people from Hethane background, we don't talk about this group of people, but it's reality. If we don't talk, somebody is going to do the job. I got an invitation from this group of people. This is not a Christian, they're the fundamental Hindus. They're having a global consultation. If you think the L4 in the Lausanne 2024 is going to be the big deal, compared to this one, L4 is nothing. Just finished the WEA meeting in Istanbul. You think that is a big deal? But look at the 7 areas. They're going to discuss about economy. They're going to discuss about education, media, political, women, youth. If we don't talk about our own way, reaching out this group of people, they're talking about how go to United States and proclaim the beauty of Hinduism. They're going to win them. I got an invitation. I'm still thinking, should I go or not to go, because in case someone found out where the Ashok Kumar is coming from, I'd be in trouble. But I got an invitation. The 7 areas are very, very strategic. If we don't do anything, these people are going to do the fantastic job. I'll show you in a few minutes' time what these people are doing at the moment. It's very, very scary. It is reality. If you go to the Google, you get all the report, last 2 consultations done by World Hindu Congress. It's happening in Thailand. Why Thailand? Have you been outside here? Just go outside. You think it's a Buddhist country. Its reality is much more than Buddhist country. Have you seen the god outside here? Shiva. Half Shiva, half female, half male, the Shiva. Every shop here, they use the word Ganesh or elephant god, Ganapati or Ganesh, they're worshipping. If you go around the outside city here, you will see the 3-head god, Brahma. So Thailand, they have a very good strategic paper they produced, how they can evangelize Thailand and make it a Hindu country. These people are discussing. It's already the halfway there now. Maybe 10 or 20 years from now, they remove all other statues, they put all the Ganapati statues here. Because they're very, very serious how to evangelize this country. So I think the second time the conference here in in Thailand. This one is going to be in Bangkok. Look at the 7 areas they're discussing. Very, very strategic. The women. Who hold the religion? Men or women? In Hindu context, women. They're the movers and shakers. So they want to equip the women. So they will hold the faith, Hindu faith. And organizations, strengthen the organizations and the political. They're very, very political. Now you know we have some of the prime minister from Europe. You talk about Hinduism openly. If you look at, when I raise his hand, look at his right hand. All can see the red thread. Why? He's a Hindu. And sooner or later, the Vivek, if you know the US politics, you watch the Vivek can be the president of the United States, a Hindu. His father come from my place in Kerala, in South India, as a scientist. So it is a reality. So we need to think a little bit different way. I just give you the one glimpse. We think we got the diaspora, all the answers, we got the scripture, we know what to do. But the reality, Hetine people are discussing diaspora on their context. They do have a textbook. The textbook is called Mahabharata, great Indian epic. Within the Mahabharata, one section called the Ramayana. The key characters Rama, Sita, Lakshman, etc. So they have the story. Let's talk about in this conference. By last conference, the Hindu conference, they talk about the diaspora, reaching diaspora, and they're quoting from the scriptures. But I don't have the time to go through the Ramayana and give you the full picture and how the Ramayana talks about diaspora. So it is a reality. At the moment, around 300 million dispersed people, and over 3 million alone live in Africa. This is Africa. So one day I'm going to visit 2 or 3 months' time, few countries in Africa. And this is not ordinary Hindus, downtrodden Hindus, and nothing else to do. They're the rich business people. So 2 of my colleagues are working in Malawi. It's very, very difficult to reach Malawian, Gujarati Hindus. So my organization sending people recruit from India, sending to Africa, reach out to the Indians, that part of the world. So it is real. It is across the world, it is happening. So I'm quite loosely using the word diaspora here, not strictly in a sociological perspective. So I'm not using the word migration, etc. Just using the word symbol definition, transnational. So this is true. Wherever these people go, so what do they do? The first thing, they build a temple. Look at this temple, the right bottom here is a Surya Narayana temple in the United Kingdom. Once upon a time, church. It was a church. They bought the church, became a Hindu temple. And New Zealand and Vietnam. They're doing the pretty good job. Wherever they go, they build temple. The fight for the right. Human right. I have the right to build a temple here. Because when the Indians go to the United States, what do they do first things? Go to temple. That's a key place, the social place where they gather by talk. And they talk about where to find the curry powder. Very fun the masala dosa. Very fun the biryani. So the key place is not the community club, the temple. So they build the temple across the world. I just want to give you a glimpse at the moment what is happening across the world. In terms, when you think diaspora realities and mobilization, these are the realities. So I use the word shaka. It's a Sanskrit word or the Hindi word, the common Indian language. You can use the word shaka means branch. It's all started in the early 50s, and known as the Bharatiya Swayamsevak Sangh, now known as Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The current Indian Prime Minister belongs to that party. It's a pretty strong shaka. And they're reproducing pretty well across the world. These are the organizations outside promoting Hithne religion. They're doing the pretty good job. It's the diaspora realities. So Benedict Anderson, you may studied sociology, you may come across his name. He coined the word long-distance nationalist. Political positions of the long-distance nationalists serve to protect an ethnic identity that is threatened either within the country or origin or sometimes in the host society. It is true if you study history, it is true. Something happened in India, the people are on the street in other parts of the world. Because my identity, I'm an Indian, that is my Punya Bhumi, that is my holy place, India. The father's land or mother's land, Madhur Bhumi or Pitr Bhumi. So I belong to that part of the world. Something happened in India, I feel it. So it is more and more increasing. I have all the statistics, numbers and figures. These people are doing the fantastic job across the world. So this is togetherness from Indian government. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, that means overseas Indians celebrate this particular day, the 9th January, International Yoga Day. Do you know what is yoga? Tantras and mantras and chakras and asanas and mayurasanas and om and shantis and all type of things. Anything goes under that name. But it is not symbol anymore. There's an International Yoga Day announced by United Nations. What did everything? Indian government. The Indian Prime Minister was in the front row practicing Mayura Asana, the peacock exercise. And the Diwali celebration across the world, or Diwali, or Onam celebration, South Indian celebration, or regional gathering. It is happening across the world. And one of the Hindu guys at Goldwalker said, dear brothers and sisters, when you go outside of India, you represent us. So it's pretty strong. I just give you the glimpse. I'm not going through the details. I look at all the societies and registered organizations. In UK alone, I can give you another 2 pages long list of the organization, what they're doing. The goal is very simple and straightforward. Reach their own people. Now it's much easier for them because they have the practicing prime minister in that part of the world. And they're writing the textbooks, and look at the last, in New York, 150 branches in 1980-85. Now more than 300 branches in New York alone. The shagas. Shagas are not the 5 people. Sometimes up to few hundred people in each shagas. What they do? Promote Hithne religion. especially among the diaspora Indians, diaspora Ethnic people. It is reality. Not only that, do the simple thing, they do this very strong lobbyist campaign against academics. Western scholarship is flawed. Against any ideas which they do not agree, they'll fight. So they can prove it. Aryans are the first group of people in India, the more different parts of the world. So they have a lot of theories. If they don't agree, they'll do the nasty things. So these are my favorite authors, at least Wendy Doniger. I think she got a couple of PhD in Sanskrit and in Hinduism. She published a book, quite thick book of the Hinduism some time ago. Wow, you should read the review from this group of people. They really crucified her, Wendy Doniger, and all of the books. So, and all of the authors. So they're quite strong. They're doing the fantastic job. If you go to United States or in Canada, where do you get the textbooks from? Authored by this group of people. Very systematic. They're the good lobbyists across the world. So Ethne diaspora is very, very important. We need to understand the realities. So in 2019, 275 million, out of that, 18 million Indians. Now we crossed more than 20 million. Followed by the Mexico and China. This area hardly touched in a mission circle. Is there any internal diaspora happening in India? We don't talk about it. I live in Singapore. People think all the Indians can speak Tamil. So only one language in India, that is Tamil, because I think all the 101.2 billion Ethnic people, around 1 billion alone in India, all can speak Tamil. In the reality, no. My mother tongue is Malayalam. That's my mother tongue. My second language is Kannada or Canarese. My third language is Hindi. My fourth language is English. And each state in India, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, Oriya, etc., the different religious group and the language group in India. So internal migration is really happening in India. So I went to my hometown last year. I went to a small restaurant, ordered the food. The guy replied me back in Hindi. Remember, I come from the Kerala, is the Malayalam, is the mother language there. But the one who's serving the food for me is from West Bengal. So West Bengal person took my order. And who provided the food for me? Girl from Manipur. When I left India, no girls work in a restaurant. So North Indians are predominantly dominant in South India, in Kerala. We call them guests. So early years, people go to Dubai to work. Similar way, some people in some parts of India from North India move to South. For them, it's going like a Dubai. Because, for an example, my place, my people, they don't work in a simple job in India, but they go to Dubai, they can clean the toilet. But in Kerala, somebody need to work in a restaurant, we're looking for someone from India and other parts of the world. So it's a huge population in the north to south. Number of years we prayed, Lord, send me to North India. I want to reach North Indian people. Now God send you the North Indian to South India. The diaspora is the millions of people moved from North India to South India. If you want to reach the North Indian, we don't need to go to North. You can do the church planting in South India. Assemblies of God church started, Hindi-speaking church in different parts of Kerala, because they have enough Hindi speakers. It's a reality. So we need to think through the diaspora realities within India, internal migration. I can talk about next 2 hours internal migration. It's a very, very important. We need to look into it. This is one of the Indian magazine. I forgot to put the footnotes there. Interstate. When you look at the state, it is not a small, tiny place, okay? My state from South India is almost 30 plus million people. Some states in India, 40 plus million, 60 plus million people. It's almost like a country. So it's pretty big. So if I want to move to North India, I need to study Hindi in North India. So North Indian people want to come to South India, they need to learn the local language. But the interesting diaspora phenomenon in South India, instead of North Indian comes to Kerala and South India, so South Indians forced to learn Hindi. It's a beautiful. So they're not learning the local language. Locals need to learn their language. Okay, this is some of the pictures in that part of the world, and South India. So now people are on our doorstep. They really are on our doorstep. So we don't need to go different parts of the world to find this group of people. God moved these people in Indian context in South India. And God moved Indians across the world, around 20 plus million Indians across the world. So it's our opportunity to present the gospel. But also comes with a lot of challenges when we think about how we can present the gospel to diaspora ethnic people. Sometimes we don't understand. The perception is very, very different. Dr. Ebenezer Sundarraj, in a long time ago, I think, is a book called Confusion called Conversion. So he wrote the book long time ago, still relevant the book. In the book he said, Christianity brought into India by the boats of the Western trader. It marched into our motherland under the shadow of the Union Jack. It flourished under the pelf and patronage of the foreign rulers. Now with the disappearance of the white man, the colonial religion, Christianity, deserves deportation. So that is the perception of the many diaspora ethnic people. This is the Western religion. We no need this religion enter into India of the Union Jack flag. Absolutely wrong, by the way. Ebenezer Sundarraj doesn't believe that this is the perception of the lot of the ethnic people. It is true. So it is our job to present Christ. It is not enter into India by the Western Union Jack flag. Usually I refer to the British, because we have in Indian context we have a quite bad history, or we don't appreciate the history until Rajesh can correct me, independence 1947? Yeah, 1947, until 1947, quite bad history. So we think these people dominated us. That is Christianity. Because James Bond wear a cross, his girlfriend wear a cross, they are immoral, so Christianity is immoral. Simple definition. So that is the perception. So diaspora Indians still have this perception. Look, my Madhur Bhumi, or my Pidur Bhumi, my Punya Bhumi, India, the holy land, there's a holy, I belong to that group. Your religion, Christianity, is a Western religion imported from that other parts of the world. You Christians slaved us many years. You looted our country. So all your princes and the kings and the queens and the the collection of the diamonds and all things, Kohinoor jewelry is looted from India. So that's a perception, is some truth in it too. So we need to change our mindset. Also, we need to appreciate them. So sometimes we use present the gospel in a one way to all the ethnic people, so all the diaspora people. Reality doesn't work. Just imagine years back, evangelist went to my home, presented the gospel to my mom, asked her, do you want to accept Christ? She said yes. She may be accepted 30 times or 40 times. Does she really accept Christ? No, she just added one more God. She got the Krishnas, Rama and Shiva and Arjunas and Brahma and Vishnu and Kali and many gods, just added one more God. So we need to know how to present the gospel to these people. I don't have much time to get into the hospitality. How do you show the hospitality to these people? I work among the Indian IT professionals in Singapore a number of years. They comes once or twice we meet in the home fellowship. It's not a Bible study, home fellowship, just cooked vegetarian meal. It's like the fellowship time. But we Christians, most of the time, we take the gospel into AK-47 gun, put it inside and shoot. If you die today, where are you going to spend your eternity? We just imagine if you are talking to the ethnic person living in other parts of the world, you're already separated from his family and lonely alone. We Christians, we put AK-47 rifle. If you die today, that means in a ethnic context, you are cursing you. I want you to die today. It doesn't work. We need to practice hospitality. We need to build bridges. But most of the time, we are the one method for everyone. If you die today, where are you going to spend your eternity, etc.? Okay. So the Indian proverb says, there is no point to giving a person a flower to smell after you cut off his nose. Most of the time, this is what we do. We meet a Hethane person in a foreign land. We shoot with the John 3:16 gospel or Romans road. All our sin comes short of the glory of God. It is true. Don't call anybody a sinner first time you're meeting the person. Just say hello to the person. So don't start with the sin. So most of the time we do this, but not knowingly, most of the time unknowingly. We don't know what to do, how to communicate with these people. My neighbor in Singapore is a Hindu lady, a Hindu family. I go to the family each time the Deepavali, they bring the food for me, and we have a good relationship. We present the gospel, yes, but not you're going to die today. That is a curse. We don't talk about the Hindu person if you die today. Okay, we need to build bridges. Looks so simple, but we are a little bit slow to build bridges. One person built bridge years back. His name was Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda, Hindu philosopher. In 1893, he went to Chicago World Religious Conference as an uninvited guest. Then this is what he preached there. In 1893. It's a long message. So Christianity wins its prosperity by cutting the throats of its fellow men. Remember 1893 spoke in Chicago. I don't know, those days a microphone there, but you see what he said. Christianity wins its prosperity by cutting the throats of its fellow men. As such price, the Hindu will not have a prosperity. I have sat here today. I have heard the height of intolerance. I have heard the creeds of the Muslim applauded, where today the Muslim sword is carrying the destruction into India. Blood and sword are not for the Hindu, whose religion is based on the laws of love, or Sanatana Dharma. He preached he introduced the prejudice. He built a bridge. The prejudice still exists in 2023. He knows how to build a bridge, but we need to catch up. But we had to do something. All the gurus also doing the fantastic job, tantras and mantras and chakras and everything. So the promoting Hethane across the world. It's very much one-way street. Any Westerner attracted towards Hinduism, West will applaud him. Wow, you found Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion, how great it is. But when I decided to follow Christ, people said, you betrayed your culture. You betrayed your religion. My mother said, don't preach gospel anywhere near to my home. Go outside somewhere and preach the gospel. What a shame it is. It is the reality. So it is a one-way. I know that many, those from other parts of the world, when you apply a visa, there's one question in a visa application form. What is your purpose of the visit? So some time ago, in the early 2017, 18, those days, the stamped in a passport, not valid for missionary or not any church activities. But, and the people in New York, they appealed the US government. I forgot what type of visa. So how many pujaris, how many priests they want in America. They managed to get hundreds of visas for the Hindu pujaris, Hindu priests. They can go to America and they can do the Hindu ritual. In Obama's time, they had a Deepavali inside in a White House. But in this part of the world, in the Indian context, and they tried to kick out all the Christmas celebration. No Christmas decoration allowed anymore. See, it's a one-way traffic. So you can import all the Hindu priests, or not import, get the visas for all this Hindu priests. But if you want to go to India, if you say the missionary, you are out. Don't ever mention missionary or mission or so. It is scary. I removed all my email address from my mobile phone. So it is a reality. So we need to face this challenge and we need to work on it. And so the few challenges, I think the Donald McGavran, sorry, I'm missing the quote. McGavran said, the great obstacles to conversion are social, not theological. Great turning to Muslims and Hindus can be expected as soon as the ways they found to them became Christians without renouncing the loved ones, which seems to be the betrayal. I think I forgot his title. I forgot the book name. Church Growth or something. Yeah, it's a Donald McGovern's quote. So diaspora ethnic people willing to accept Christ without denouncing the loved ones, including without changing the names. Once I heard one of the pastors in Europe, he wanted to baptize one of my friend's friend, Subramanian. So he said, that is a Hindu god's name. We need to give him the Christian name, baptism name. That was the last day we visited church. If you change the name in Europe and you go back to India, you'll be in trouble, friends. It is not advisable. Become a Christian without renouncing the loved ones. How do you in Indian context or ethnic context, just your parents provide you the money for your study, 5 years or 8 years overseas study. Then you come back from Europe and say, I'm a Christian now. 2 weeks ago, I was in the Philippines. So I asked the same questions I asked. Who make the decision for the families? Who will make the decision for the girls? 1:30, a medical student stood up, my father. Without, so fast, my father. Because her father paid for her study. Just imagine somebody from the ethnic background studying in the Philippines. She is going to say, my name is Radha, the Hindu God's wife, Krishna's wife named Radha. When she baptized in Philippines, her name became Mary, and she go back to India. What will happen? The riot in family situation. So it is true, the fear of future, we need to adopt, we need to think differently. Diaspora Indians would like to become followers of Christ without crossing the cultural barriers, betraying the loved ones. I use the word followers of Christ, so I don't like the word Christians. Sorry, no offense. Because my certificate still says I'm a Hindu. I never changed my religion. If I want to change my religion, I need to get a lawyer. I need to go through the court process. No, officially, I will change my religion. So if I change my religion, Ashok Kumar became a Ashok Robert Alexander Kumar or something. Do you want me Ashok Kumar Alex? Ashok Kumar Alexander? No, it doesn't help at all. Now I can go to any home in India. Ashok Kumar is a Hindu guy. You are welcome. But I'm a follower of Christ. Same thing, but instead of using the word follower of Christ. So don't call any person a non-Christian. So I don't like the word non-Christian. We don't call an engineer non-doctor. We don't call a doctor non-engineer. So when I accepted Christ, people said, Ashok Kumar from non-Christian background. Is there any Christian background in the world? No Christian background. And occasionally Indian pastors prayed for me, Lord, thank you for saving Ashok Kumar from the Gentile background. What? When did the Indian guy become a Jew suddenly? I think his name may be the George or Sam or something. That person thinks I'm a Christian, but Ashok Kumar is a pagan. We are not going to win any diaspora Indians overseas just calling the person non-Christian. A man is won by calling him what he is not, what he is not. Sorry, I'm missing the word not. So we need to think differently. Just skip that one. Okay, just give the one simple example in a Singapore context. Why people, Indians from ethnic background, people move to Singapore? One is the culture. Singapore and India is only 3.5 hours flight distance. And we have the Indian street in Singapore, or called Little India. You can buy a curry powder. You can smell like India. So, and it's Tamil is one of the Indian languages, the official language in Singapore. So people happy to move to Singapore. That is all the positive side. But same time, people ask me, you came from India, why your son got a scholarship? I am a second generation Indian, my son didn't get a scholarship. There's an anger. So I had to tell my friend gently, look fellow, my son is a top student in Singapore, your son is not. When I went to the award ceremony they call SINDA, Singapore Indian Association, our top students from the Indian background. All the award ceremony, look at the front row students sitting there, called the PSLE exam, the top student. Indian students, that 90% of the students from India, not Singaporeans. So Singaporeans feel the punch. The Indians came. Now Indians are the top students. Of course, in the United States, who is the maths champion in US? Who is the spelling bee? You can see all the Ganesh and Ramakrishnan and Sudhakar, all the spelling bee. So you need to ask why Indian guys go to America, he became a spelling champion. But who knows English better, American or Indian? But reality, it is truth. My son is a world debate champion. World debate champion. People ask me, where in the world are you from? Singapore, where is it? It is in China. So try to find out how the Indian guy got a world debate champion. He said, Dad, I went to New York the first day I defeated all the American university students. First day. So it is a reality. So Singapore is a true. But look at some of Singapore, the Keshava Pani. I don't think he's a Christian. He used the word questionable is Indian professionals have assimilated into the local social fabric. They suspect, are they really assimilated into Singapore system? And Shashi Tharoor, I think I mentioned already, he talked about the Hindus, the Sarvagar, one of the Hindus, Hindu Pandit, he said, they usually use the word Madhra Bhumi, Punya Bhumi, and Janma Bhumi, etc. because my faith is from India, or I'm from India, so I'm an Hindu, etc. I'm going to stop. Is it 10 more minutes for me? 5 more? Yes. Okay. So diaspora students, I want to spend here at least 5 minutes. I just came back from Philippines. We think the Philippines, when I think of the Philippines, we think always, all the seafarers from Philippines. 50% of the seafarers from Philippines, all the domestic helpers, and if you go to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or Doha, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, you see all the domestic helpers from Philippines. So we think that type of negative type of Philippines. But the reality, 20,000 Indian medical students in Philippines. I don't have the time to go to the other parts of the world. 20,000 Indian medical students in Philippines. Why Philippines? Okay, why Philippines? Few years ago, it started the dropping. Other people are going to United States and New Zealand, etc. Going down and down and down. So look at the statistics and numbers. It's from Times of India. So students' visas are difficult to get. In Australia, one student said very much racial issues in the racial bias. I don't want to go to Australia. So they used to go to Ukraine, but all the war situation, etc. So they're not going to anymore to Ukraine. So 20,000 Indian medical students in the Philippines. These are all the students from India, different parts of India. My friend and the pastor Deepak do the Bible study with them. Why we are still praying? We need to reach Indians. When you go to India, difficult to get visa. We need the poor and downtrodden people. We need to work in the tribal areas. We need to win the winnable people. Why don't we can think the diaspora realities in mobilization? God mobilized these people, 20,000 Philippines. Visa is not an issue. It's persecution, no persecution at all. Who are the students? They're from middle class people, from English speaking family. I took this picture, by the way, in Philippines, in Davao. So they're from middle class family. So they don't need any of your old t-shirt and old shoes. They're financially okay. So I shared with my church thinks I need to go to the Philippines, go to the rubbish dump in Philippines. They call the Smoky Mountain. My church work among them because Smoky Mountain people need the old shirt, old pants, toothbrush and toothpaste, etc. I told them, these Indian students don't need any of your toothpaste and toothbrush. They're richer than Singaporeans, some of them are. But it's very difficult for Singaporeans to understand why do we need rich Indians in Philippines. Just imagine, friends, we are preaching in India all these years to whom? Poor people, downtrodden people. They cannot change India. They can't get into the parliament. Just imagine, out of 20,000 students, 2,000 or 3,000 accepted Christ. They train, somebody disciple them in Philippines. When they go back to India, they can change India. why don't we train these people, spend all of our money and energy, and with 20,000 people, at least get a few thousand people, train them. So when they go back to India, they have the captive audience in the consultation room, morning till evening. But it's difficult to challenge people to go to Philippines. My organization said, we can take people. Many organizations said, we can take people to reach this group of people. Those who mean the skirt means the second or third year students. Those who are wearing the long pants, and that means the fourth or fifth year medical students. So this is 2 weeks ago. I did a training program in Philippines. This is in Manila. The beauty of this church, very, very conservative. Very strong conservative church. One of the church members said, Pastor Ashok, the students changed my church. I said, how do the students change your church? They walk into the church with a t-shirt and jeans and slippers. So church changed by the Indian medical students. So you can see all the right side, Indian medical students. And in India, people fight sometimes one another. Here is the Tamil and Malayalis and the Telugus and Marathis and Orias and Bengalis and Northeast Indian all works together. They have no issue. And they're going to be there 5 solid years, 5 to 5.5 years in one place. So, and this is in Davao. See, another bunch of medical students. In the church, I had a cell group meeting that after my Sunday service. So 20 or 30 students sitting around, Christian students. They're learning how to reach the fellow Christians. They're asking, Ashok, is it possible you can send some doctors from Singapore to Philippines because we can communicate to them better. Senior doctors can spend 1 or 2 days with them. So it is an opportunity. I'll be there 2 or 3 months' time again, the training people. Look at this bunch of people. Look at the smile. So if they give me the second choice, I will go and live in Philippines next 5 years. You all are in the 20s, 22, 22, 23 years old. The first time in my life, I prayed for the 20 people in Sunday morning service. They all call me pastor. At times, I'm not a pastor. Then the local pastor said, you're coming from India. They look at you as a pastor. So pray for my exam, pray for my mother is sick in India. There are a lot of areas they shared with me. So God mobilized these people in his eternal plan to other parts of the world. And not only Philippines, it was in South Africa. I had more than 90 meetings in South Africa a few years ago. Around 93 meetings altogether. Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria, etc. This is Durban. Around 100 people came one whole day, morning till evening. We're discussing how to reach the fellow South African Indians. There is a new energy, new zeal. Okay, I will stop here. My time is almost up. I want to show you one more slide. So reaching these people is very, very challenging. We need to think differently. I'm organizing a consultation next year here in Chiang Mai. I can take up to 200 people. So you all are invited. Because this is not public. We put into a public place. People can join anytime they want. It is by invitation only. You are invited. You can take this picture if you want. One condition, don't put it anywhere else for your personal use. If you want to register, you need the password. You need to log in. So I will stop here. Okay. Can I just pray and close? Is it okay with you? Yes, please. But I want to pray quite differently today, because praying for 1.2 billion Hithane people across the world. So I thought to pray Lord's Prayer. Only the small twist is I will pray in Sanskrit. Not I will pray in Sanskrit. I will read or I memorized long time ago. I forgot a little bit. Lord's Prayer. Okay? You can say Amen. Bo asmagham sargasta pidaha tava nama pavitram pujyadham yadha sarghe tadha medhinyam abhi tejha siddhyadhu swastanam bhakshyam asmaghaya bhayam dehi vayam cha yadhasmat abharadhinam shamamahe तथात्वम् अस्माकं धन समस्वा अस्मां च प्रत्यांश मानय अभीतु दुरात्मन् उद्धारा यथो राज्यं पराक्षमः प्रदाच्य युगे युगे तवैव आमेन.